It is loading. Okay. I thought it was like bugged or someone on Reforged. I don't know. Why did it take so long? Okay. At the top right, we have our yellow undead Godfather, and he's going a ghoul build, which to me indicates expansion. We shall see. And at the bottom left, our red night elf, it is Reset. And I believe Reset is one of the more likely elf players to play Demon Hunter. But we shall see if that is indeed the case. Let me change my Steam title and stuff too, I guess. While there's not much going on. Okay. Alright, so it is actually going to be Keeper, so no Demon Hunter from Reset. And from Godfather's side, the Death Knight. Second Ziggurat up, which is pretty common these days. Generally when you see this, you have to be wary of potential ghoul pushes as well. But oftentimes I think this is just common, because Undeads value having extra ghouls at the start. They can do many things with it, whether it be expanding or creeping while harassing and getting an early backpack once the relics finishes. Or of course, you know, or the all-in ghoul rush. Like it can apply to all three of those type of things. So no backpack right away, so probably just standard creeping. But that will allow the undead to creep fairly quickly while also producing extra ghouls to keep mining so that he can tech if he goes for the tech. Oh, he's actually going for the expo. So fast expo. Let's see if Reset can handle it better than me. He does see it right away. He has 2 wisps here. 1 wisp will probably die. Godfather not opting to coil it though. Interestingly enough, I think he could have coiled that one easily. But instead he decided to wait until it killed both of his skeletons. And for some reason, yeah, he's going to this as first camp with 3 ghouls. See, this is the type of expo I feel you can stop as elf. Because he's bringing 3 ghouls, like no skeletons, and he let his skeletons get detonated. So good start for Reset so far. But I am surprised Godfather didn't wait until he crept 1 camp, got an extra set of skellies, prevented the wisp from detonating, and had like 5 ghouls plus enough wood to afford what he needed. Now, it does look like he might be able to still get up his tower, but it is going to cost him quite a bit because now there is 4 treants and he just does not have his ghouls with him. 3 more getting sent, which will help quite a bit, but with this Ogre Magi still here, it's a bit sketchy. Might see an Nerubian upgraded soon once he harvests another 8 wood, which he did. And going for this round almost locks it in. And now we will likely see Godfather send something to distract the Magi while continuing to pressure the Keeper away. Would like to see maybe even 1 or 2 more ghouls sent to the Magi as well. You don't need everything chasing the Keeper because it's not like you're actually reaching him. Loses the Acolyte, level 2 unlocked for the Keeper. So going pretty well for the elf. Personally, I think the expansion is much stronger after you've crept 1 camp, because then you can get level 2 guaranteed off this, have an extra item, have more ghouls, more skellies. But yeah, now as we can see, there is 5 archers here, Keeper's still here, lingering around. The Undead is slowly fighting this off, however at a pretty high cost. Reset is almost done with his tech. and Godfather might actually be letting it go. He could bring in these ghouls and still defend it, but I think it's too late now. If he had done it right away, this force isn't too scary, but yeah, at this point the tower will be falling. So good little push by Reset to kill it. But Godfather does still have a backup plan. His tech's honestly not that delayed. Like Reset's tech just finished, Godfather's is 15 seconds behind. So our Undead player is still very much in it. Just not as in a good position as he would have liked. Trying to potentially force a TP here, not going to do so. Oh, misses the attack on the archer. Might still be able to get the coil kill here. Does indeed get the coil kill. But Godfather has unlocked tier 2, already teching tier 3. Slaughterhouse on the way. Reset still producing the extra wisps he need, because he did, you know, have to detonate a couple, as well as produce a couple buildings, taking another couple. Panda on the way. No Demon Hunter second. However, I assume we will see a transition into Fiend Statue Destroyer. But the Panda should be able to get decent value against this amount of ghouls, because Godfather does still have quite a healthy count of ghouls to work with. So getting this Panda up to level 3 as soon as possible, definitely needed. Reset producing even more wisps actually. I thought he might tech right now, because he actually does have... Yeah, I think this one at least can be cancelled and tech. So maybe a few too many wisps, but you know, they can always still get value even if they detonate. Okay, he does start his tech, tier 3 on the way. Might see another Moonwell and a shop coming soon. Continues to level up, but DK is here to harass. Should be able to get 2 archer kills once he gets 5 more mana. Keeper not 3 yet, so can't do a ton of damage with his Entangle focus. Actually, he got all of the archers, so 3 archer kills here from this DK Rod Harass. Does force a greater heal, which is significant, but at the cost of 3 archers and 150 mana on his Keeper. I think the Undead can survive with that. Also delayed the creeping, and only just now reaching level 2. Keeper still blocked from that crucial level 3 where he can either put more pressure on ghouls / acolytes with Entangle, or even get level 2 treants if he wants to speed up his creeping, make it can use less Moonwells. No mana for the coil here. Keeper will be able to get healed. And we should see bears coming next, I would assume. Yep. Or adept training along the way at least. One more dryad. AOW being moved into position. Just continuing to creep. Undead does have tier 3, and I think he had orb. Or no, he didn't have orb yet. So at some point he might staff over, pick up orb. Destroyer form on the way. Godfather has about reached his timing for the push. Don't think he has Unholy Frenzy yet though. Or Ghoul Frenzy, I mean. But once he gets Ghoul Frenzy, we might see some sort of timing push with Orb, Ghoul Frenzy, and a 3rd hero. It is still quite expensive for him though. He can only afford like Orb right now, so he's another, 500 gold from Frenzy plus 3rd hero. We do see Frenzy on the way. Panda will reach level 3. Not terrible items. I mean, Wand of Mana Stealing is pretty solid. Might see the ring passed over, although Panda does have 5 armor. AOW going down, but helped out enough. Bears, Master Training, Orb of Venom. Elf is starting to hit a decent power spike here, but Undead as well has hit a decent spike here with Ghoul Frenzy about to be unlocked. And another Ziggurat, so maybe, I assume with this Ziggurat he's probably planning more of like a 60 food poke at the elf base, see what he can do. And before then likely just creep, try to get his second hero to level 3. And that's probably a wise choice. The elf did already get level 3 heroes. And, you know, pushing right as the elf gets 3 heroes is probably not ideal. You know, they do have orb, they have bear form. I'm unsure of who exactly is ahead. And I think it'll come down a lot to just how their first real engagement goes. If it goes with the Undead nuking down a bear right at the start before it can even get staffed, you know, it can go way into the Undead's favor. But if the elf on the other hand gets a good breath of fire to start it off and picks off a couple ghouls, then obviously the elf will be heavily favored, and it'll really just come down to that timing, like who gets the better initial engagement of the fight. Although if Godfather goes straight into the base, maybe a little bit different fight dynamic. It'll likely be how Reset can position. Oh, he's going to split his panda. Probably a good choice. Get his panda next to the ghouls. Bait the Undead to dive in, and then he will come in from behind. However, panda does get surrounded. Luckily he has an invuln, or maybe, you know, not luckily, but tactical, picked up that invuln. Keeper has come into the base as well, focusing down these fiends. Dryads a little mistargeted right now, hitting the Death Knight, and this elf army not doing as much as you would like for sure. He has actually been focusing, I think, primarily real fiends as opposed to the illusions, but not actually getting the kills yet. Some are low. Panda does have quite a bit of mana. Breath of Fires might be able to turn this around. The destroyers up in the air not doing so much now that the bears are gone. And without so many fiends left, and without a third hero, it's looking a little sketchy for the Undead. This fiend will be going down. And at the end of the day, pretty even. I think if Godfather had managed to kill these 2 Dryads, I would say it's heavily in his favor. Or if Reset had managed to kill these 2 Fiends, heavily in his favor. Oh no. Bring your destroyer in, bro. 1 destroyer left over there, 1 destroyer left in his base. A little late to bring him in, but he will be able to save this A-bomb, I believe. Oh, he's actually going to turn and fight. Going to take out the Berserker, but is Lich too far forward and just gets nuked? 3rd destroyer morphed. No more statues on the ground. Godfather a little caught out there. That was a really close game there at the end. I think it could have gone either way. Both were around 50 food. Technically they don't have to play on EU North. They can play EU East, or US East I mean. But going for the more balanced host. We do technically have it in the rules though that you can play on just like US hosts basically. Or if you're against Oceania, then US West or Asia East. But of course the option is open to choose a more fair host if wanted, and they are opting to play on EU West, I believe it was. So fairly even ping. We see another ghoul opening from Godfather. Reset going for standard elf opening as expected. And I would think we would see Keeper again. But, you know, maybe he'll change it up and try the Demon Hunter this time. He did win last game, so usually after winning you just kind of stick with what worked. but you know, we'll see. And it is going to be the keeper again. Should be Death Knight for the Undead side. And this time we will likely have a bit of a different route. Rather than going straight for the gold mine with 3 ghouls, he will likely have to at least creep something else first. And then if he wants to go to the gold mine after, he can have like 5 or 6 ghouls at least, and like 4 skeletons, which will be much tougher to deal with, because during that time, since the elf uses an Ancient War for creeping, they aren't really producing. That's where you can really gain your advantage when you're starting to expand as the undead, because the elf ends up getting to, you know, upping their count from like 1 archer to 2 archers, while the undead adds like 3 ghouls because of how long the Ancient War is uprooted. So that's why I would like to see more of that type of route. Does look like he is planning to potentially expand again. But yeah, this time with a camp first, extra skeletons, extra ghouls. Should go better for him. However, this camp, or this map and camp is a bit harder to creep. So elf can actually harass this quite effectively, unlike something like Tide Hunters, where the camp's fairly mild and the undead can kind of creep it in the elf's face. This camp you can't really, I don't know. You can creep it in their face, but you're going to take some losses. Elf reaching level 2, Slippers and Circlet, not terrible. Slippers can also be useful later if he does go Demon Hunter second. Gloves of Haste for the undead, finally finishing his first camp. And it looks like we have Tech instead, and looking to be aggressive maybe. So, bit of an interesting choice that he picked up the Sack Skull, yet he's not actually going to Expo. Reset seems to think he is going to Expo. Maybe he saw that Sack Skull, I'm not sure. Or maybe he's just going to go for the Acolytes. But Godfather wisely has Cold Tower coming. And his base is pretty blocked off. Reset looking for the undead right now. We'll find him. Should be able to get 1 ghoul, or at least force a bunch of coils. It should be a ghoul kill, but nicely denied by Godfather. Maybe a return archer kill. No dust though, so if Reset does just hide, he should be able to get away. So far, I mean, no heavy losses from the undead, so pretty even. Nice scout here though, sees the tree. Should be in a good position to do something about it, or at least be aware of it coming up so that he can pressure on tier 2 if he wants. Hunter's Hall on the way. Slightly delayed Hunter's Hall, so lures will also be slightly delayed. But usually you want to afford your second hero first before lures anyways, because you want that second hero, Demon Hunter, to start getting leveled as soon as possible. And we do see Godfather coming over, likely wanting to cancel that tree. Should be able to get something done here, whether it be some archer kills or the tree cancel. Tree cancel looks like it will be a little expensive because he is losing 2 ghouls at the start. But Reset's mana has dropped quite low. He will only have 1 more entangle available, and then he will have to go back to his base. And this tree, I don't know, dude. Nice little deny there. Those denies are actually pretty crucial. Without those denies, the elf would have been like 5 XP away from level 3. Yeah, this looks like he can cancel it, I think, if he keeps attacking. Yeah, but it was a little costly, but getting that cancel that late into it is actually probably worth, right? It's kind of expensive. He also lost a couple wisps. The wisp that was building it, the other wisps that came to Detto. So even though the undead lost... Oh, Little fake there, but Reset not falling for it. And he does save 2 ghouls. I would say Undead favored, but only slightly. Elf can still do things from here, especially if he locks in this around. Okay, there is staff though. Good pickup that he got that. Yeah, Undead definitely not in the worst spot. Elf has to make a decision here. Does he just stay on 1 base, tech tier 3? He does. We do see the tier 3 tech. So he will look to just be creeping, unlock his bears, and then fight. And taking quite a bit of damage here though. And bear's still a ways away. Might have to use up his moon walls. There's quite a bit on these two. But it does suck to not have them in reserve for later. Yeah, that moonwell gone now. This moonwell already low. This one's full though. Reset nearing level 3. And Godfather actually going for some big plays. We see an expansion coming.
Forces are under attack.
And I think this might actually work out quite well. So many of the archers have died. Like there's this one still alive, but lost for now. This one. There's only 2 archers. And he did take level 2 Entangle, not level 2 Treants. No Staff of Telly to go to a Wisp by the Expo either. Although there is no Wisp here. So this Expo is going to get up, and this looks rough for the Elf. Reset's going to have to get a really good fight somewhere. We'll be able to pick off a ghoul. Instantly ritualed. Probably a wise choice. Lich was missing quite a bit of mana. So it's kind of like just purchasing a mana potion in a sense. While also taking 75 mana away from the keeper. Not bad. Panda looking to continue leveling. His army's a little small though, so he is going to take some golem bolts and creep slowly. But he should eventually be able to get level 3. Undead as well, trying to creep with just his heroes. But this expansion is already up. There's a cold tower here, there's a necropolis. And it's, you know, with this necropolis here, he should be able to saturate it pretty quickly. Queue up some acolytes. And now Reset really has to manage to find some sort of level 3 panda bear push timing. Otherwise, the Undead's going to kind of spiral out of control. Keeper getting nuked a bit. Will be kind of inconsequential if he has bears coming, which he does. So this nuke damage, not that big of a deal anymore. I think it's more significant when you're facing Dryad expansions. And Reset coming in for the creep check. Nova does secure the Ogre Magi kill. Ritual denies the Crypt Fiend XP, but the other Fiend ends up getting ensnared and then entangled and will go down. So good little pickoffs by Reset. He does have a bear here. Nuke's coming out, but there is still an invuln and another rejuve. I feel like the Undead probably should have just backed off. Or maybe had some of his ghouls with him as well. Now he's taking a lot of focus fire. There is no more entangle though, so if he can, you know, get out of range of these dryads, he should be fine. They are slowly picking away. Oh, breath. Oh my. 7 HP. There is a shop here. Probably will purchase a potion and sell the skull. Not sure. Oh. That was close though. Oh yeah, I guess I could put the score up too. Yeah, that little skirmish, a bit bad for Godfather. However, Reset still has not reached level 3 Panda. Could do so with like this, I guess. Looks like he wants to take the red camp. Definitely higher value, but does take quite a bit longer to creep. Which means a lot more time before he can push. And actually it looks like Reset might not even be pushing. We see a counter expo coming up. So maybe just going to rely on getting his panda as high level as possible and try to keep up his map presence so that the undead does not get many camps himself. As we can see here, him taking the red and likely wanting to take maybe this red while scouting to see how easy this is to break could be a choice. Or he might go over to his own gold mine, clear it for the expansion. We have yet to see exactly where he wants to go, and he is going to head top left, although he is getting very pathing blocked right now by this tree. Undead, also wanting to take the red, has not reached level 3 DK yet, which is a little awkward. Did actually buy a TP, which is probably needed at this point against so many Dryads and Entangle, but he does have a Destroyer. Will use a coil here, Devour coming out, and with only one Nerubian, I do think Reset has a chance to break this a bit. He did reach level 3 Panda, he does have his Orb and Staff, but the bears are dropping quickly. One bear does die, the other bear should be staffed this time, I think. Yeah, it does get staffed. Next breath will hurt quite a bit, but it won't actually finish anything, and now Godfather is pushing the elf back. And Godfather reaching 3-3. Those 3-3 undead heroes, pretty significant. Now the elf not going to be able to finish the game here or really break this, and will have to fall back and creep out his own expo. He does have a staff now available, but yeah. Besides the TP, the coil did hit. However, he did have to be wary of like Ritual into Nova, because the Lich does have Ritual. Yeah, that was a case of maybe it would have been better for Reset to just keep creeping. Use his advantage of, you know, how strong he is out on the map. Take the red camps. You know, while he knows the undead's here, he could have taken this red camp in front of him, potentially, and then backed off to his own expo. Hard to tell what exactly is the right call, but that was definitely a better scenario for Godfather than for Reset, because Reset just now getting up his own expansion, whereas Godfather already has Frostworms unlocked, has had his expo up for quite a long duration. Ghoul Frenzy on the way. Does have 6 ghouls still left over. Ruined Bracers, honestly not bad, but could be much better. There is Entangle, there is Breath of Fire. You know, those things do have quite a bit of magic damage that can tick down your hero, but you know, maybe just a Belt of Strength would have been better. You know, overall health. Or of course, auras, True Shot aura, Devotion aura would be best. But some value to be had with this. I wouldn't be surprised if he keeps it. Frostworm taking a lot of damage. Little misuse there. Shouldn't really be tanking these piercing damage hits. And we are seeing a push from Reset once again. His army has healed, and Godfather instantly decides this is where he needs to counterattack. He wants the elf to have to be forced to TP, or for them to both trade expos. And it looks like Reset is going to at least kill the Acolytes. Will he take out the Gold Mine or Necropolis? Reset will be losing his own tree as well. Interesting choice to see Tinker here. I'm not sure if it's the right call, but Yeah, Tinker can be good for these sort of split push sieging. Elf doesn't always want to be fighting frostworms, especially at this moment before they've really produced hippos, and I do not think we see hippos. Only O1 upgrades as well for the elf, but the undead does not actually have any upgrades, so also not too bad. Oh, he's going for the keeper. I'm not sure about that call. We do see a nice staff out. Undead does have a TP though, and what I would like to see here is some bear focus. Tinker caught out of position, drops quite quickly. Finally seeing the bear focus, one bear down. Would like to see one more bear down and a TP from the undead. But it looks like he's like 3 mana short of a Nova. Oh, gets the focus off just in time. In the end, he still got what he needed, 2 bears for the TP. But he did lose a few ghouls. The elf gonna rejuve up. Elf has lost all of their moonwells though in terms of healing. You know, obviously they're still here, but healing is gone. Undead expansion technically still available. However, kind of hard to saturate because the elf can easily take it down now with no towers there. Might have even been worth to make an acolyte to unsummon some of this if he doesn't want to try to defend and saturate it. And he is just going to continue leveling up. Does not have a TP, so if Reset actually pushes into his base here, something could be done. But this panda is only half mana, not exactly the type of fight you want to take as elf. Nice pick off of the A-bomb though. Godfather looking to expo middle. Reset does take this down with Treants. Picking off this A-bomb is huge. Disease Cloud was spread though on all the melee. And now Godfather looking to just buy time, I think. However, Reset has spotted the center expo. It is already up, but might be able to get a Nerubian and be able to defend it at some point. And this count of Dryads is actually quite scary for the undead. Tinker only just now reaching level 2. Maybe if it was level 3 or if there was a few more fiends, he could do something about these Dryads. Right now, having to rely solely on focusing down the bears, which he is doing quite nicely. There's only 1 bear left. However, not much to actually take down the Dryads. Heal Potion gets past to the Tinker just in time. TP will come out. Undead, for the most part, didn't lose much. Like his worms, I think he lost a fiend, but his worm's alive, his destroyer's alive, statue's alive, hero's alive. However, he does not really have enough to defend. And at this point, some of these expos, like that's a lot of extra resources invested here. Bit of a loss here for Godfather, losing 3 acolytes, a Ziggurat, Necropolis, and gold mine, and only mined like 300 gold. Probably taxed as well from upkeep, so good situation for Reset to stop this expansion. However, it'll all come down to where they decide to really fight now. Reset's at the point where he will likely just walk over his tree, and Godfather's at the point where he might just, okay, I was gonna say he's going to wait and then break all at once, but he's actually just breaking now. And that might be the right call, because there is only 500 gold left. You're not losing that much, and you do need that build time as well. So he is breaking now. Maybe he will unsummon 1 slaughterhouse and the boneyard afterwards, and produce up to 80 and then push the elf expo. I think that'll be a very strong play. Undead's looking to be in a decent position here, I think. But we'll see what Reset can do. Because honestly, Dryads, they can be good at these 50 food fights against air. Against non-Garg air, I should say.
A town is under siege.
But when you get to 80 food, that those worms and destroyers, they just take way too long for dryads to take out. And in that time, your bears are dying extremely quickly to the high magic damage. Panda also not reaching level 5 is going to be a problem. You really want that higher breath damage. I do actually like this. Godfather would have liked to unsummon that and get gold maybe. I do actually think he should have unsummoned the Boneyard and the Slaughter. I don't know why he did not. But if he unsummoned Slaughter, Boneyard, maybe even Altar, he could have produced like one more Fiend and A-Bomb, I think. Or, you know, at least an A-Bomb and a Ghoul or whatever. But yeah, this is going to be the final death push from the Undead here. Did keep the bracers. And I really don't know exactly how this goes. Maybe even instead of another A-Bomb, he could have produced one wagon. Maybe that would have been the call. Because having a wagon to shoot down at the Dryads, spread that disease cloud on the Dryads, would actually be quite huge here. Godfather taking out the Moonwalls, pretty nice play. While you would expect him to go to the Expo, getting rid of these Moonwalls can also be pretty good. However, you have to be a little bit careful if you end up in the fight here. He also has a little Echo line blocking the bears from attacking, but the Tinker getting caught out in front, dropping quite low, does not have an invuln for it. Should be able to get another factory soon though. Invuln also coming out for the Panda, and the bears dropping very quickly. One more bear falls, next bear should be targeted. Factory finally coming out, which will help a lot for tank ability here. Needs to get some Devour on these Treants. Tinker dropping low still. But the Undead does have quite a few coils left and a healthy worm. However, these Dryads just kind of untouched. Not enough Fiend A-Bomb wagon type units to take down the Dryads at the end there. Reset getting a close win in game 2. As you can see by the score as well. Very close game. I think that really could have gone either way. I'm not sure about the Tinker, if he had enough value, but maybe not the worst. The big thing, I think, was the needed to unsummon the Boneyard and one Slaughterhouse, and probably the Altar. Like, if he had unsummoned all 3 of those, that could have been like a wagon plus of another Fiend, right? And a wagon plus another Fiend is actually significant because it is siege and piercing damage. It is spreading disease cloud on the Dryads.